Hey everyone. So I'm pretty sure you've heard the advice of be the main character of your own show or your own movie or something like that. And you've probably thought that it just sounds so profound. It's just such a deep piece of wisdom. And I used to think that too. But then I thought about it for more than 10 seconds and I realized it's actually really terrible advice. Now, look, it sounds good at first, but in my opinion and really my experience, it really just leads to a life of mediocrity because let's just think about it for a little bit. Obviously, this is not I'm not meant you're not really meant to take these type of analogies or these types of sayings too seriously. But if you're one of those who are pretty neurotic and tends to overthink things, then you can follow along with me. Just think about like when was the last time the main character, like the main protagonist, was the fan base's favorite character? If you really think about it, it rarely happens. Like if you think about Star Wars, for example, I mean, I guess you could say the original trilogy, Luke was the main character, but a lot of people like Han Solo more. It's very often that a side character ends up being more popular than the main character, and sometimes even the villain is more popular than the main character. And I'm going to explain why. Because, like, the main character very often only serves as a canvas, a blank canvas through which the story can unfold to the audience. And so they kind of face these restrictions on their personality. They can't really it's often like they have to have a really bland personality to appeal to as many people as possible. Remember, like, the movie needs to somehow relate to people. So most protagonists, they're just made to be these like really vanilla characters that are always, I have to do the right thing. And it's like they're so predictable. Where you might have a side character with more edge, like Daryl in The Walking Dead. Yeah, I look, I'm not saying the main characters are necessarily hated, but if you take a character like Daryl, like Han Solo, they have more personality to them. They have more freedom to really lean into a certain archetype and just play that role well instead of trying to appeal to a wider audience and really just dumbing things down for the lowest common denominator. And that's why even a lot of the times even the villains, people like personalities who are, you know, they stand for something. They're not just some lame duck that's very vanilla, that's so general. And this is what main characters in movies and stuff end up being. And that's why, you have movies like Karate Kid where even the villain, like I think Johnny in the Karate Kid, who was supposed to be the villain, was more popular than the protagonist. And in fact, I don't even remember the protagonist's name in that movie. I just know Ralph Macchio plays him. But that's pretty much it. Like, the side characters often, they're the ones that are so popular that they get their own spin-off. And the reason is because they're able to be themselves. They don't have to fit a certain mold. Now, you might be saying, well, when the side character gets a spin-off, don't they become the main character? And I would say yes, and that's why many spin-offs fail. Because when the side character becomes the main character, then all of a sudden they face the same problems that regular main protagonists face, and they often have to like tone down what made them popular to begin with to appeal to as many people as possible. And that's why a lot of spin-offs fail. But it was their unique personality and their unique character that gained them the popularity, so the producers would want to capitalize off of it. So what can we learn from this? Because this post isn't really just about movies, okay? This script, like this analogy, is really more about how we can approach life. Yeah, look, if you have main character energy, like no one cares. Like it's just you're basically just a people pleaser. But if you have the cool side character energy, this cool side character, I guess the spin-off, then you end up attracting the people who like you for who you are. And that's what's made me realize like this be the main character, have main character energy. It's just a load of crap because I don't want to be a main character. I don't want to be a main protagonist. I don't want to be this blank canvas that is just meant to please everybody and meant to just fit a mold and appeal to the lowest common denominator. Like, I want to do cool shit. Okay, I would much rather be the cool side character that gets his own spin-off show. Okay, I have friends who can be the main character. I mean, a lot of them work regular jobs and have regular relationships and do regular people things. Not that that's bad. I'm not trying to say they're bad for that. I'm not trying to say anyone's bad for that. But I mean, that's just not for me. And chances are, a lot of it's something that's for less and less people. A lot of people they grow up on Hollywood and they have this main character syndrome. They think they have to make everyone like them. They have to, fit a certain mold. When that's just not the case. And so this advice of just be the main character of your own show, it sounds cool. And yeah, you're not really supposed to overthink it. But to be honest, it's just better to be, when you drop that expectation of yourself, you find that you have more freedom to kind of be unapologetically unique. And when that happens, when you just focus on playing your own role and not fitting into a sort of main character role that has to encompass or embody some kind of greater narrative about life or some kind of Hollywood contrived bullshit, you just drop. So there's so much of a weight that's just lifted off your shoulders. And you don't have to worry about constantly being in the spotlight. You can just play your own role. And quite often, when you do that, the story just builds around you. And then, that you don't have to worry about anything else. Anyway, that's just a thought I had. I'll see you in the next one.